But they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run, not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Isaiah 40,31. There are mornings when the weight of the day arrives before the sun does. When you open your eyes and the ache is already waiting. When you have no story to tell except that you are still here. You have not surrendered your faith, but you have lost your momentum. You keep showing up, you keep choosing good, and hope keeps slipping like water through your fingers. Isaiah wrote to people like that. Not to sprinters at the starting line, but to walkers who had already spent a lifetime in the in-between. He did not tell them to speed up. He told them to wait. Not the kind of waiting that wastes time, but the kind that weaves it. The Hebrew word kava means to bind, to braid, to twist strands together until they hold what one strand never could. Waiting on the Lord is the holy practice of wrapping your thin thread around His unbreakable cord, again and again, until courage returns and panic loses volume. It is not passivity. It is partnership. It is not giving up. It is getting held. They shall renew their strength. Renewal here is not a refill at the edge of exhaustion. It is an exchange at the center of it. Your burned-out determination for His steady endurance. Your anxious planning for His quiet providence. Your need to control for His willingness to carry. It does not look dramatic. It feels like breathing deeper than fear, praying simpler than performance, trusting slower than hurry. Renewal is what happens when you stop asking your soul to be a generator and allow it to be a receiver. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. Eagles do not negotiate with storms. They meet them. They do not waste themselves flapping against headwinds. They rise into them and let pressure become lift. Waiting on God trains you for the same holy aerodynamics, to spread the wings of trust inside the very weather that once terrified you, to ride the updraft of grace where you used to fight the air alone. You learn to discern the wind instead of demanding the map. You learn the difference between force and flow. Maybe your storm is public, a diagnosis, a debt, a divided home. Maybe it is silent, a loneliness you cannot explain, a numbness you cannot shake, a private grief that keeps resetting the day. You have tried to outpace it, outwork it, outthink it, and the more you try, the smaller your world becomes. Hear it again. Those who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. The same Spirit who hovered over chaos now hovers over your calendar, your nights, your next step. He does not shout you forward. He draws you nearer. They shall run and not be weary. The promise is not that miles will shorten. It is that meaning will deepen. You will still face deadlines and detours. You will still be tempted to compare. Yet, something shifts. You run without resentment because you are no longer proving worth. You are practicing worship. You carry work like stewardship, not like self-salvation. You start choosing presence over performance, patience over panic, obedience over outcome. The pace of grace is not slow because it is weak. It is steady because it is sure. They shall walk and not faint. Most miracles live here, in commutes and conversations, in hospital halls and kitchen sinks, in the long middle of commitments no one claps for. Walking is the sacrament of staying. The world rewards speed. Heaven forms saints by steps. To keep walking when applause is gone, when answers are late, when prayers are simple, that is holy defiance. That is strength, disguised as gentleness. Look at our moment. A nation awake and exhausted. Everything efficient, nothing easy. We scroll for comfort and find comparison. We gather information and lose imagination. We plan security and forget stillness. We call hurry a virtue and name burnout as passion. But peace runs on a different engine. Peace is not an app, it is a presence. Peace is not the mood of a quiet room. It is the government of a faithful king. The peace that guarded Abraham under stars and Elijah under a broom tree still guards tired hearts under fluorescent lights. Waiting becomes worship when you stop asking time to save you and start letting God shape you. It becomes discipleship for desire, training your wants to kneel and your wounds to listen. It becomes the school where your reflex changes from fix it to Father. You learn to pray before you plan, to bless before you build, to notice mercy before you name the threat. Gratitude stops being a performance and becomes a pulse. Every small Thanksgiving breath, shelter, a text from a friend, a verse that found you stitches your heart back to hope. Practice it. In the morning, do not let headlines become your hymns. Whisper, I wait for you, before the world begins. Name one burden and set it down. Name one mercy and lift it up. At noon, when the day speeds up and your patience thins, step out of the stream for 60 seconds. Breathe slower than your fear. Say his name like oxygen. At night, when worry tries to write the script for tomorrow, hand the pen back. You lead. I will follow. I will sleep. These are small acts, but they tilt the whole interior world toward trust. Waiting does not make you smaller, it makes you truer. You shed the costumes you wore for applause. You stop auditioning for affection you already have. You discover that God's silence is not disinterest, but deep work behind the curtain, aligning people, preparing provision, planting strength where no one sees. The roots go down before the wings go up. This is why some prayers linger, not because heaven forgot, but because heaven is forming. And when it comes, when strength returns like sunrise, when the wind changes and you feel lift under ribs you thought would always ache, you will know you did not engineer this. You received it. You did not outsmart despair. You outstayed it. The Lord renewed what striving had drained. The wings were his idea all along. So do not despise the nest. Do not curse the long middle where nothing seems to move. The nest is not a prison. It is a studio. It is where God sizes your courage, smooths your fears, sets the rhythm of your breath to the cadence of his promise. At the right time, not your fast time, not their loud time, the right time. He will say, now, and you will remember how to fly without flapping your soul to shreds. For some, waiting will end in a yes that makes sense of tears. For others, it will end in a no that becomes a larger story. For all who wait in him, it ends in a person nearer than fear, stronger than endings, kinder than your conclusions. He is the lift you cannot lose. Tonight, let the room be simple. Turn down the noise that teaches your heart to hurry. Let the lamp be enough. Open your hands where no one sees and say the old prayer with new honesty. Lord, I wait for you. Trade my rush for your rule. Trade my worry for your wind. Trade my thin strength for your endless one. Stay there a little longer than comfort allows. This is how wings begin. Tomorrow you will still have work, bills, headlines, neighbors, responsibilities. You will still be tempted to measure your worth by speed or success. But there will be a difference. Quiet, stubborn, steady. The soul will not startle as easily. The breath will come back quicker. The pace will be set from within, not by whatever shouts the loudest. You will run, and weariness will not own you. You will walk, and fainting will not define you. You will live at the speed of grace, and if the storm returns as storms do, you will not fear the wind. You will remember the lesson the waiting wrote into your bones. Resistance can be lifted when God is near. Spread wide. Trust the air you cannot see. The updraft is faithful. The shepherd is kind. The promise still stands. Those who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. Not once, not rarely, but as often as they come empty. Come empty again. Come daily. Come as you are, long before you feel ready. Your weakness is not a disqualification. It is an invitation. Your slowness is not a scandal. It is a sanctuary. The king is not in a hurry, and he is not late. When you cannot plan, you can still pray. When you cannot fix, you can still be found. When you cannot run, you can still rest in the arms that never tire. Let that be enough tonight. Let it be your courage tomorrow. Let it be your story when someone asks how you kept going. You will not say, "I was strong." You will say, "I was held." Amen.